Which I put my phone on.
All right, you are good to go. You're on the live on YouTube now.
Are we good? Okay. Okay, the technical issues have been resolved. Thank you, Ashley. All right, so I will call to order the Thursday, February 18th, 2021 Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting in the town of Unicoi. I would like to ask Vice Mayor Cooper to provide the invocation, and Wanda Radford will lead us in the pledge, please. Would everyone stand?
I will say, Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you, Lord, for the weather that permitted us to come out. We thank the citizens that came out to work their king as Lord. We want to pray especially for the people in Texas, Lord, without power and water and many things to keep them going, Lord. We pray for them that they'll soon get the things they need. We pray for our country with all the struggles we face, Lord, and we ask you to give us sins, give us guidance. All we do is just say pray on that.
Attention, salute.
Flags in the corner.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Miss Debbie, would you call roll, please?
Alderman Bennett. Alderman Radford.
Here.
Alderman Ray.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Boland.
Here. Okay, let's move down the agenda. The minutes from the January 21st meeting were in your packet. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Any second? All right, any comments or corrections needed for the minutes? All right, hearing none, we will vote.
Alderman Bennett.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Alderman Ray.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Boland.
Yes. Okay, what a crowd. It's good. It's good. We're grateful to have this crowd, and we're grateful to have those that we have on Zoom as well and YouTube. Tonight's meeting had on the agenda a topic of very, very much interest, and I feel certain that is why most of you are here. And we have had discovery of some new information this afternoon, and apologize for late notice, but Summers Taylor notified us by email that they have withdrawn their request for us to consider their rezoning proposal at tonight's meeting. So that will no longer be on the agenda. I've got a couple of things I want to say, but Ms. Schultz, would you like to say anything in that regard as well?
Well, just simply to add that, there's been a lot of information gathering, trying to have everyone's perspective on this. Those who oppose it and those who are for it, we wanted to get as much information as we could. And the requester of the rezoning has asked, as Madam Mayor has said, that new business item 12A not be considered tonight. So it would be appropriate for the board to entertain a motion to amend the agenda to remove that item if you so please.
Okay, you heard what our city attorney has suggested. Do I have a motion to remove?
I make a motion to remove
item 12A.
from the agenda.
And their request actually included that it come, just for clarity for everyone, that it come off tonight and go on the March 15th PMA meeting.
Pending their request. Pending hearing from them that there will be a request.
They, in the email that
They
they
indicate.
actually said, please take it off tonight and put it on the March 15th.
Okay. Okay.
agenda.
So we have a motion. Is there a second? To restate the motion, it is to remove the Summers Taylor request for rezoning, which is item 12A on the agenda. We're going to amend the agenda to remove that request and also note that their intention is to have that placed on the March 15th BMA agenda. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, I'd like us to vote, please.
Alderman Bennett.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Alderman Ray.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullen.
Yes. Citizens, I'm appreciative that you're here, and I put something together that I just want to read to the citizens. We've been getting numerous phone calls, too many to be able to answer and still conduct our lives. I've been getting some emails. I'd be better at answering some emails because I can do that while I do something else. I appreciate all the input. I am concerned that there may be some varying pieces of information out there that give me some concern. So I put together an open letter that I want to read to citizens. And when I complete my statement, I will open it up for the floor for citizens to still make comments tonight, should you desire to. You've made the effort to come out. You may not have been aware that they had withdrawn their request for consideration tonight. And because you made this effort, I want to give you that opportunity to make some comments should you want to make them. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Our city attorney has a egg timer, which will ding. Once citizens in the room have completed their comments, we will go to citizens that are meeting with us virtually and give them the opportunity to make comments as well. So that being said, here is my open letter to the citizens of the town of Unicoi. The request by Summers Taylor has been controversial, to say the least. The response by citizens opposed to their proposal has been overwhelming. Since we first heard about the pending request and plans to move or expand the asphalt plant operations, there has been a flurry of information flowing in and out of town hall. I, as mayor, have done my best to organize that information into something that is meaningful and productive in terms of the town's response. Our city attorney, Lois Schultz Davis, has also been very active in gathering and organizing information. Your elected aldermen have been very, very busy taking in and processing that information as well. With all of that information, we as an elected body, with the advice of our city attorney, have been doing our due diligence to ensure that both sides of the issue have been heard, and our decision is the best decision that we can make for both sides of this issue. Please hear me when I say there will be an asphalt plant in the town of Unicoi. That is not negotiable. That's not the question. The questions that we are going to have to answer is, where will it be? And what will it look like? And when I say what will it look like, will it be tucked away with some buffers? Will it, what will it look like? How will it operate? Or can we put any kind of restrictions on it? Those other pieces, okay, related to where it is, okay? Unicoi Clear has been determined in their efforts to be heard, and let me say, we hear you. Thank you for your hard work and time-consuming work that you have put into gathering information, organizing it, and sharing your concerns. Many hours and much effort have been put into the pending decisions that are left to be made. We, the members of the BMA, are committed to doing our best to find any and all avenues for solutions. We are ever mindful of the citizen concerns in that commitment. To that end, Summers Taylor has agreed to revisit their request that was scheduled for review at tonight's BMA meeting. I do anticipate the BMA will be considering a request on the March 15th calendar, our next scheduled meeting. In closing, please do not forget this one really important fact. There will be an asphalt plant in the town of Unicoi, but there is still work to be done in terms of where it will be and what it looks like. Regards, Kathy Bullen, Mayor, Town of Unicoi. So that being said, I will open the floor now for citizens to make comments. If you would like to speak, We do not have a podium. It may be most appropriate if you would stand in your spot. And I pulled my mask down to not muffle me. And speak out and share what your concerns are. So if anybody in the room would like to speak, go, okay, sir?
Mayor, before he starts, may I
Okay.
just make one comment? I'm
Yeah.
just providing this for everybody's information. There will later be a public hearing. No ordinance in this town passes without 2 readings, and of course, that presupposes that there would be action on it on the first reading in some format. So I just want you to be aware there'll be other opportunities to talk about that.
They come off my 3 minutes.
I haven't even wound up the clock yet.
I'm gonna say something, but I like the board to consider the horror specialist on zoning. Last summer, a powerful wind, big winds, everybody was safe. And the specialist meeting, no matter what it was. But I have other stuff to say. When you mayor and aldermen come in, I thought this city was united, be proper, But if you all vote yes to me, the city will never unite. It won't. And that's what I'd like to see, everybody. Nobody says that's Johnny, but that don't matter who what you did. I want us to unite and be prosperous and do good. And I'm gonna tell you, Kathy, and anybody on the board, I rode a video roll of hay on that hill down there. I push off, and that's where he happens to. And you can smell it. Anybody says you can't smell it, they've not been out there. Especially in the summer, it get you. And I've seen white, and I've seen blue spoons. And if we all vote yes, it's going to evaluate the land. And I don't know about the health. It's called health farmers to the kids of the grandkids. It's a dangerous thing, but Ralph Summers is one of the powerful men they are around there. And that's why if you vote yes, you need a specialist. Tell you, I'm telling you. And I thank you for your time. I thank y'all for being an alderman. I thank you for being a mayor.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Yep, okay, yes, sir, and then Margaret? Okay, yes, sir.
My name is Wayne Steinke, and I can see the glory from my house. So last time, late last night, feel it here. And personally myself, I would just like to see them stay where they're at.
Amen.
Leave it A1, not M2, because once you go down that route, it's gonna just kind of like snowball. Let them work with what they have. I'm sure they can work within that boundaries, because it's like, still, like you say, it's either 2 acres or 12 acres that they have to work with. And I don't think they need to even consider expanding that part of it, you know. Plus, I think maybe to try to see, like you say, try to get some restrictions on it, see whether we can plant tall trees around it or whatever, try to minimize the aesthetic implications of it. As far as, like you say, we're stuck with the plant, no matter what. I think they should just be able to work with what they have now, not expand, just leave it A1. And it'll benefit everybody in the town if you just leave it A1. But once you do that, you just hold up a whole other can of worms. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, thank you. All right, Miss Margaret.
Hi, Kathy, mine is really a question,
Okay,
and it has to do with dialogue back and forth. And I want to know how we can all have a conversation rather than accusations and non-facts. There are a lot of things that have gone on since May 20th, 2020, and before that. So what I would like to see is how can we talk about this so that when you all hear something and we know it's either not truth or the truth, we can say, yes, it is. And I think that's how the community comes together. You have a problem, you get all the information you can, and you try to solve it for the best people. So it's a question and a statement together. So help me understand. I volunteered for this town for over 10 years. When somebody said they need help, I dropped what I did and I came down to help them. Limiting someone to 3 minutes does not give a person the time to express a concern, a truth, or a pattern. So please consider how we can have dialogue and do the best for everybody in this town. Thank you.
okay, and I appreciate that, and I will give some thought as to how we may do that. And the things that are immediately running through my head is the number of people, the size of the group, representatives, you know, what I mean, that there's a lot to think through. But I appreciate the request, okay, and I'll have to do some consideration. Okay, that did not come out of your tongue, anyway.
Wasn't
Okay,
digging you,
okay, so you're digging me, okay.
trying to reset.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
My name is Wendy Mainville. I live on Garland Road. We moved here in December of 19. And I never ever saw the plant was working when I was looking. And I had been told that it was not used. I am from the New York State, Buffalo, Niagara Falls area. I grew up with the love canal. I grew up with the chemical plants. I grew up with pollution. I lost many friends thanks to the love canal. People that had moved there, people that had many different types of cancers. Those who don't know what it is, it's a chemical dump. The air pollution produced by this plant will include arsenic, benzene, formaldehyde, and cadmium. They can all produce cancer, central nervous system problems, liver damage, respiratory problems, and skin irritation. There are no OSHA standards for people that work in these different areas. The smell is produced because it's a byproduct of the making of the asphalt, and there's no way to remove it. A small plant that produces 100,000 tons releases up to 50 tons of toxic emissions. I want you to think about that. Because depending on how that wind blows, guess what you're going to be breathing. It's been people have testified that there are clouds that go overhead and they're metallic white. What happens to our farmers? What happens to their cattle, their sheep, their pigs, whatever they happen to have? They're eating that, they're ingesting it, and it's getting into the food system. What's happening to your children? Mine are grown, my grandchildren, but mine are grown. So I would like to see, when you decide what you're doing, some kind of a provision to place a restriction on the plant whereby they have to mandatorily require updates in the process if they're available to decrease these pollutants in our air. There has to be some kind, but we have to have some kind of control over that and watch it.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, sir.
My name's Dan Kieran. I live on Shenandoah Drive. And then I look off on the quarry and everything. And I just like my fellow people here, when they dynamite and they do stuff, I feel ashamed. I do smell the plant from my house, which doesn't have right now. And I live pretty much a mile away, probably, maybe less. And I smell it on the days when the wind's blowing my way. And I've lived in this area my whole life, just about between Unicoi, Washington County, and that. And I can tell you, not only with the smells and stuff, but just the increased traffic that it's going to cause going through there. Because I don't know if y'all familiar with the plant out in Watauga. I remember when I was a young lad, when that plant was nothing. And then all of a sudden they had the main headquarters there or something. And, you know, driving down that road, all the trucks and the rocks and the junk that it brought to that Watauga, it hurt the town. It didn't help the town. Why is Watauga the size of it right now? Because the town of Watauga, people didn't want to go there. People didn't want to move there. It was too much traffic, too much junk coming in. And I don't want to see Unicoi. Like I said, I've seen places grow up. I've seen places, you know, in Johnson City, Boone's Creek and everything, where I originally came up. You know, I thought it's changed a lot, and I don't want to see that happen here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Bill Beckman, and we live on Springbrook Road, overlooking the Florida. Unlike you, I can't quite remember being a young lad anymore. I think we all understand that there's going to be an asphalt plant. We would certainly hope that some restrictions and constraints can be put on that plant. But I think the big concern for me, and I would imagine for a lot of other people here, is the attempt to rezone all 12 acres to a heavy industrial. that opens up a whole can of worms, a Pandora's box of potential disaster for our town. There's nothing to stop Owen or Summers Taylor from selling that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that whole 12-acre industrial park. And there's no control at all over what goes into that. So the biggest issue for me, frankly, is the fate, and I use that term carefully, is the fate of that bigger parcel.
Thank you. Okay, come, you're up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about the truck traffic.
Do you mind to tell us your name?
My name is Michelle Warner.
Okay.
I live on Garland Road.
Okay,
Summers Taylor permits allows them to make up to 100,000 tons of asphalt a year. And for reference, the old tax plant is 27,000 tons per year. Now, math isn't necessarily my strong point, but it's easy to figure out. If you say that they operate for 10 months a year, that's 10,000 tons a month on the average. And if a truck holds 20 tons of asphalt, that's 500 loads a month. And working 20 days a month, that's 25 loads a day going out. And the trucks also bring back the loaded raft. So that's double. And those are a lot of heavy trucks tearing up our roads and dropping asphalt and spreading the smell everywhere. I don't want that. Do you want that? If we restrict them to stay under 2 acres and keep it as it was, they bought that property knowing what it was. I've lived here since '92, and I remember in around '94 when we were all upset about this same issue. And they told us that the asphalt plant would be there only until I-26 was there, but it's there, so we are. What I'm saying, if you rezone it, you're opening, like everyone else said, Pandora's box. And I really think you will really, really divide this community that will never get back. Because there's 550 homes in that area. We all love where we live. We've worked all our lives to buy our homes. And Summers Taylor doesn't care. All he wants to do is make money. So I don't see how there's even a choice. Your people are going to have their property values ruined. And why is there even a choice for some company to come in and make money? It's just not fair.
thank you. Okay, I've got 2 hands. Y'all want to duke it out? We do have law enforcement here, but anyway. Okay, go ahead.
Correction. There was another asphalt plant there that they did bring in to use that. I don't know if you realize that or not. But Summers Taylor had an asphalt plant there that paid 26, and then it was moved back out. They owned the property behind what they already bought. So there's 2 different plants we're talking about. Yeah, it was too. They brought that in, just moved it back out.
Right.
But there was a different plant there.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that affects what they're trying to do with their zoning, so that plant's still sitting in Elizabeth. So, but I just wanted to clarify, there was 2 plants there.
And that is true. There was. Yeah, I think that's a piece we walked the site and we learned a lot of things. So, okay, right here.
My name's Fred Shelton. I live on Springhill Drive, approximately a mile, I guess, where the curve lies from the existing plant. Built and moved in on June 1st of '95. So this coming June 1st will be 26 years. Lived in the same place. Love it. People love the mountains, but don't leave. But I don't know if Summers Taylor or the other plant that cats or whoever owned it before, I don't know if they paid the town any taxes I don't know the inner workings like you all do.
No.
So I don't know if we, the town, have received any revenue, tax revenue from them. And, I mean, we individually, we pay county tax, but so far, as of today, since I moved, in there June 1st of 95, I've not paid one penny of Unicoi town taxes. Have paid county taxes the entire time, which I understand. But, if this new thing is approved that people have been talking about, what is, and we know that the multi-ton trucks, 25 or 50 of them a day, whatever the number was, in and out, we know that, so we're not geniuses, but we know that's gonna tear up the roads a whole lot more. And if Summers Taylor is not paying the bigger portion of the bill to fix what they're tearing up over a regular time, not just a seasonal time, I mean year round, then what's gonna happen to the homeowners? Are we gonna all of a sudden, after 26 years or so of no town taxes, are we gonna all of a sudden, well, folks, we hate to do it, but each one of you, $300 or $400 a year, and you go from zero, the whole time it's been a town of Unicoi, to whatever the number turns out to be? I don't see where that's right. And what are we, the town, gonna derive from this expansion, if that's what happens, expansion of this company? Now, if it was an Eastman, if it was a nuclear fuel company service like in Irwin, if it was a Aerojet or some other big company, you know, that's going to employ thousands of people or something, the town don't have. You tell me how many people, residents are roughly in the town of Unicoi? Roughly 3,000, 3,500. Okay, and most of us, I'd say, a good percentage of us are retired. But we'll just pretend, for argument's sake, that all 3,500 of us residents are still actively working. I don't think all 3,500 people are going to want to work for an asphalt company. It's called freedom of choice. Last time I checked, it was called America. You get to work where you want, when you want. If you don't want to, you don't want to work. Well, we just pretend that all 3,500 people wanted to work there. Then you can say, well, hey, residents, we're employing 35, just about every house over here in the town works there. We're providing a paycheck. We're feeding your families and so forth. I'm sorry. Was that? Okay. But that's not the case. I've been told that practically all of their employees, if they do expand, if they get the approval from our board, they'll expand and they're going to bring in their current workers from outside here. So how is that going to really help the current town of Unicoi residents? And like I said, the devaluation of the property, we, the residents, going to have to pay to fix the roads up that they're tearing up.
Mr. Shelton, you are out of time now.
Thank you.
Know how to talk.
Thank you. Okay, I've got one up front and then back under the TV screen. Okay, you first. Jean Mo.
I'm Jean Mull. I live on Pine Hill Road. I haven't seen this plant working since I've been here, and that was 2014. But I want to put the human aspect on it. My daddy worked at an asphalt plant and paved all the roads in Orange County, Florida. My brother did 40 years paving these roads. My dad's gone away, had a lot of breathing problems. All 6 of us kids have asthma and COPD, and my brother is telling me from working in this asphalt every day. That's the human aspect.
Right, that was tough. Thank you. Okay, sir.
I'm Wayne Stein. I just wanted to, I elaborate a little bit on what the gentleman was saying here. At the last meeting, Summer Taylor, they always say they want to be good neighbors. We'd like to take them at the word. I know they're just finishing up that one project out there at Gray, which they earned over $15 million from the state of Tennessee. And he wants to be good neighbors. I agree with him. We shouldn't have to fix our roads if they destroy them. If they want to be good neighbors, since they're producing asphalt in town of Unicoi, they should be able to fix Unicoi roads if they destroy them. That would be an aspect of being a good neighbor. You know, if you destroy something, don't expect the citizens of the town to fix it. You know, like you said, there's going to be a lot of heavy traffic, heavy trucks on. You know. If he's gonna say he's gonna be a good neighbor, he's gonna have to practice it. He will. He should. Exactly. Maybe they can put a stipulation in there, the other, that he's responsible for fixing the road up to you when they tear up.
Okay, we'd address the board, please. If somebody else has something they'd like to say, please address the board. Yes, sir. That's okay. Okay.
My name's Tom Mangill, I live on Unicoi Drive. I would like to, at this time, reiterate two things. One thing this lady here said, what the current conversation's been. And I talked to Roger Cooper on the phone about the roads earlier this week, my wife and I did. And I agree that there should be a stipulation. I'm making a motion.
Okay.
I'm making a motion that the city commission, elders, and board of elders, and everybody put a stipulation on behalf of the people of Unicoi that the plant be held responsible for the condition of the roads, and they're going to be running all over like everybody's saying. As a stipulation, even granting them their 2 acre, they're not even going to get the rezoning thing, forget that. But I think that this should be made a, that should be made a point that they have to pay for the roads. And what this lady said about us all working together, I think we're all better than Washington DC is right now.
Amen. Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Was there somebody else back this way, just real? Okay, go ahead. You right here, please, ma'am.
The lady was talking about all those trucks. My house is right in front of it. They go in town. All. And that smoke from them trucks and from the asphalt plant, you can't even go out in the yard and breathe. It's so bad. It just, see, they go out there and they load up and they come back and they go up that hill. You know how diesel smokes. And all that, and the wind always blows this way. And I get all that smoke, soot, everything. I mean, my legs and things look blank for that stuff. You can't tell me that all that thing in there. I mean, it's a mess. My house is set right there, facing it. And the wind blows this way, go this way, they go through this way, they go this way. And it's constant, one night after that.
Would you state your name for us?
Yes, thank you. Ma'am.
Georgia Valley.
Okay, and which road do you live on? Garland?
We're on Marbleton, right at Marbleton and Garland.
Right there, okay,
Right there.
okay, okay,
We get all of it.
okay.
Y'all have not moved a couple got to walk.
Okay, thank you for your comments, thank you. Did we have somebody else back over here? We're gonna go back to this side, all right.
I just want to, my name's Renee Jones, and I live on 170 Arnett Drive. I just wanted to point on the road situation. There is, and I'm asking this as a question, there is if you have heavy use vehicles, if you have to fill out an annual form called the 2220, I think, is that correct, Ms. George? 2220. You have to pay extra taxes, and Junior Good, you may know more about this than I do, but you have to pay extra taxes based on the miles you travel, the weight of your truck, and all of those things. I wonder if there is, how much of that actually comes back to the town. Is there a portion that comes back to the county and the town? And I don't know the answer to that, but I think that would be some good information that you could, when you're discussing this, is there already a venue that money comes back through the taxes that Summer Taylor or whoever might be paying? And if there is, make sure we're getting our share of that.
Good, thank you for your comments. All right. Are y'all vented out, or you can still got some things you'd like to share with us? Uh-oh, no, here we go. All right, Miss Lewis, I've already let one person speak
I know
twice.
I got about a minute and a half.
Okay, I'm gonna limit you to 2 on your
I
second
just
speak.
want to say, I have a timeline. I
Okay.
have a timeline that started in October 2019. All right, and there was no intent at that time by Summers Taylor to use that 2-acre lot. They indicated to Tadapsy at that point, they were going to use the other 2 parcels to the north. There was 4 months when there were 2 permits and 1 application at the same time. All right, I have a timeline of everything that was submitted to them on a timeline. I want you all to look at that because there are things that are patterns that have happened that you need to know about because the good neighbor thing that I've heard here has been said over and over again. And a good neighbor does not do that. They come to the town, they talk with you, they tell you what their plans are, and they show you the truth about what is going to be done. They were never intending to put anything on that old tax plant 2 acres. Okay, and furthermore, they have just been cited by the state for operating that plant without a permit. And because of citizens' input, not because of their willingness and good neighbor, because of citizens' input, and they were cited recently for operating that permit with that blue smoke and that black smoke coming up on the side of that mountain and sitting there on December 21st and December 18th. So that's all I gotta say.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Y'all may not know this, but I'm gonna say this in public. When Miss Lewis first approached me about her just findings with that asphalt plant proposition, she brought more to me. It was before the election, but she brought more to me than I'd ever dreamed of that I wanted to know. But anyway, I nicknamed her, and I think y'all are all old enough. I have to tell this. I just did. She's the Erin Brockovich of the asphalt plant. Did y'all see that movie?
It was not something I wanted to be.
I know she doesn't like it when I say that, but
She'd rather be riding her horse.
yeah, she would. Yeah, yeah.
It's over, so I can go back to riding my horse.
But anyway, so I'm sorry, but she has worked hard to dig out information, and I respect that. So anyway, thank you.
I mean, all of us probably rather be doing a lot of things rather than worrying.
Other than, yes.
Including the mayor.
Well, I was like, can I just go take a shower? And like, yes. Okay, no, it's good. It's all good. Okay, yes, Mr. Lewis.
All right, well, having had my wife talk, I guess I better follow up quicker. I'll get in trouble. But I mean, we knew this afternoon that the discussion on this agenda item was going to be canceled just at the end of the day. So a lot of people who would otherwise have been here knew that and decided not to go.
Correct.
They're gonna hold their fire and come next time.
Okay.
There's been another 50 people trying to get in here.
Okay.
To talk about these issues, even though we have quite a few of them now, right? We're Unicoi clear, and I remember that. So on the subject of good neighbor and honesty, this plant will be, they carefully selected their maximum output to allow them to be self-monitoring and self-reporting, which means they write down their reports once a month and send them in. And they're actually inspected once a year by Tadapsy, which is the Tennessee Department of Division of Air Pollution Control. But they, as Margaret said, on December 18th, they fired up the batch plant, the old Caps batch plant. They knew that permit had expired on November 1st, like 6 weeks before. But they fired it up, I guess, to burn it out or something. And then the next, knowing they didn't have a permit, their permit to operate, their air permit, okay, it isn't a zoning permit here in the town of Unicoi, it's an air permit. Their permit to operate their newer plant was issued that same day, December 18th. Then on the 21st, they fired up again and were actually selling asphalt, okay? And the neighbors saw them, reported them, and an inspector came from TDEC and Tadapsy and stopped them. And they were selling asphalt to put in a driveway or parking lot at Chipotle in Johnson City. They said, well, we didn't know because we got the mail on Friday, December 18th, but we didn't open it. So we didn't know we had a permit that refused to allow us to use the batch plant. And that's the kind of good neighbor thing we can expect here, is basically these plants will operate how they want, and if they get caught, then they make an excuse, that kind of thing. So I don't want to cast that many aspersions, but that's just the reality of it. That's the way these things operate. Margaret studied these all over the southeast, and it's the same story. Everywhere you go, small towns getting hoodwinked by this kind of deal. So you just have to be aware of that. It's the kind of thing that will go on, and citizens are going to have to try to counter it. But how do we know that? How do we know whether this plume of smoke exceeds the recommended 20% opacity that they're allowed to do? I mean, how do you know that kind of thing? So it's just crazy to try to keep track of it. The only way you can do it is upfront to minimize the operation. keep it from expanding 7 times. It's actually 15 acres, not 12 acres. 15 acres are in play here compared to 2 acres. And the expansion would be astronomical. So that's the issue.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have one quick
Okay,
question.
if you could speak again, Commissioner Short.
Okay, why do we have to have this asphalt plant? You said we're gonna have it, why?
Because they have non-conforming use, which is in accordance with state law, to use the space where CAPS was operating and Rinker Materials was operating when the town of Unicoi incorporated and set out a zoning plan. They were already in operation, so they were granted non-conforming status.
Now, is that the plant that is already in existence somewhere on the highway?
It transferred
They
from,
can't operate?
it transferred from Rinker, wasn't it Rinker?
The
The CAPS.
chain goes through several ownerships.
Yeah.
I think the plant that's there now was actually put up by Bill Hyder,
Yeah.
perhaps operating under a lease. And of course, his company is CAPS, and then they've passed it on now to Summers Taylor.
So it's like grandfather. Okay. Okay, we've got double speakers.
I have a question.
We,
I
okay,
had hoped that this was going to be explained, but it hasn't been. So I have a question. I understand we're talking about 2 acres, we're talking about 12 acres, we're talking about 15 acres. You need to explain to us what we're talking about. Are we talking about the 2 acres that really isn't 2 acres and it's really 12 acres, and so they can expand on 12 acres?
okay, I'll do my best. Can I give you the short,
That means-
the Reader's Digest condensed version?
Pardon me?
Can I give you the Reader's Digest
Yeah,
condensed
that's fine.
version?
That
You're gonna have to use your,
especially needs-
use your imagination, use your imagination. There's a tract of land that backs up to the quarry. You interrupt me whenever you need to. Backs up to the quarry and comes down to where CAPS is located right now. You see the plant on Garland Road, okay? There is a 2-acre tract that CAPS has been operating on. It is a 2-acre parcel. It's a 2-acre parcel. Directly behind that 2-acre parcel, there's a 10-acre parcel. It goes up a hill, there's some trees. Okay, a 10-acre parcel. At some point in time, and this is still, I think, something to be determined with accurate documentation, when the town incorporated and there was allowed to be this non-conforming use, whether that only included the 2 acres or if it included the 12 to go with it. And that 12 to go with it is still a bone of contention, okay? Over time, with plans to come into the town of Unicoi and operate a asphalt production facility, Summers Taylor purchased additional parcels. Those 2 additional parcels equal 3 acres. And they are more to the north. I don't know the directional stuff, but they're more to the north, and they back up closer to the rock quarry. Now, the last 2 parcels are absolutely agricultural. The first 2 parcels, the 2 acres of the 10, is agricultural. However, it was allowed to have this industry as a non-conforming use because it was already in use when the town of Unicoi incorporated and laid out a zoning plan. Okay. Well, there's a question. We don't have good documentation. I don't think either way. Well, yeah, that may be for a judge to decide. Okay, that may be left for a judge to decide. So just gonna say, I think that's a piece that is challenging for us. Right now, all of those 15 acres are agricultural. They're only allowed to use the 2 for production of asphalt on those 2. So,
Mayor, can I clarify?
but Summers Taylor owns all 15 of those agricultural zoned acres. Yep.
Can I clarify the
Please.
numbers, how they fit together, and also the part about the 2 versus the 10 acres? We've been looking hard to establish exactly what was being used December 1995, when our zoning ordinance went into effect. That's when grandfathered or non-conforming use rights attached. And so if anybody has an aerial photograph that dates from that time, we'd be happy to see it. The one we found on Google Earth Pro for that date is a big green law that didn't digitize right for some reason. So I found some more resources for that kind of answer. If anybody's got one, I'd love to see it. I thought some in time before, I thought some in time behind that. But we'd like to have that one for that period of time, because that would clarify whether there are non-conforming rights, use rights for the 2 acres or the whole 12.13 acres. It's one parcel, there are deeds for that one parcel, but it's been divided up for tax purposes. There's also some things that were put into the record when they applied for some opportunity to have additional buildings on the 2 acres that may answer this question. But there's nothing better than a photograph that says there it is. That's what it was. It eliminates a whole lot of arguing, so I'd like to find that. The way it adds up is one 12-acre deed, clearly 2 acres of that has been used for asphalt production and has a non-conforming use. Then there are 2 more parcels which add up to 3 acres. So that's where you get the 15. It's 2, 10.13, and 3. That's how it breaks down.
And their request has been to rezone all 15 acres to M2. That has been their request. So, yes, you may, but I'm gonna ask you to keep it short, okay?
I've lived on Garland Road since '72, and
No, you haven't.
you all know that.
No,
But what scares me the most is the rezoning to heavy industry. I mean, that scares me to death, because first of all, Summers Taylor are real estate people too. They could make asphalt until they finish the I-26 job and then decide to flip the property and sell it to somebody else. Put it heavy industry, we don't know what we're gonna get in there. I mean, they tried to put a nuclear enrichment plant where Walmart was, where they were gonna process all this stuff down, haul all this nuclear waste into our town on the roads and highways. And then they would process it and get a little bit of stuff that they wanted, and then they'd have to haul all that junk out. I mean, we've already had to fight that off. You know, I don't trust them. You know, what are they gonna do? They're always trying to garbage up with nuclear, heavy industry, garbage in our beautiful, beautiful mountains. And that strip between there, the air just stays. It's between 2 mountain ranges. I'd like to see you do a study on that and see what happens, because it doesn't go anywhere. It's not like you can blow out to the ocean, you know, so I think that's important. And that's one of the things that I can't even see how you would even consider rezoning it to heavy industry.
That was their request.
It's in the middle of people's homes and farms. That's not a place for it.
Okay, thank you. Now, are we good here? Can we go to the internet? Can we go to see who may be online that would like to speak? I bet they're chomping at the bit. Or maybe, I don't know if they are or not. Anyone?
I am.
Okay. Phyllis?
That is incorrect. I was on the first planning commission and they had 2 acres and Charles Hensley was the mayor. There was never more than 2 acres. Never, never, never when we were a town, ever. And none of this other crap that they're talking about is the truth. It was 2 acres, Charles Hensley, and I don't know if anybody has even contacted Charles. I don't even know if he's alive anymore, but he was our first mayor. I was on the first planning commission. It was 2 acres. It was caps. There was nothing else. And that's the truth.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Any other comments from those that are zooming in or calling in? Unmute if you'd like to speak and we'll pick you up. Anyone else? Unmute if you would like to speak. Okay. All right. All right, then, is there anyone at Unicoi Town Hall?
No, they are not on here to my knowledge.
Okay. Okay, okay. Ms. Counselor, was there anything mailed in or emailed in or dropped off at Town Hall?
No.
There was not. Okay.
Mayor Bullen, there was a very large packet of information, a multi-page letter and a good bit of information, which I have here with me tonight. If anybody wants to see it. And I think it was emailed to every member of the board from the attorney for Unicoi Clear. And so that has a lot of information in it in case anybody wants to see it, and several points about all of these legal issues.
Okay, and we don't have any time tonight for that to happen, but are we gonna make that available?
We can.
How can, I mean, make it available at Town Hall,
Mhm.
pick up a copy, but
Well,
leave us an email
It's a
address?
lot. I'm not sure that everybody will
Let's,
want all of that, but it's available there if anybody wants to look at it and get copies of anything.
I tell you, every board member up here, and including the city recorder and our city attorney, received that email. If you would like a copy of that, please grab an email and we can forward it by email. Okay, and that'll reduce all the copying.
I have a few copies of the first 5 pages, I guess, the actual letter as opposed to the surveys and other documentation and all that. With you, I have several copies of people.
Okay, if you want to share those with folks as y'all, as we move through. I think for the most part, we have nothing else left to consider that is going to impact any more information regarding the asphalt plant. So I am not telling anybody to leave and go home, but I want to give you the freedom if you don't want to sit in here and you want to go home and eat supper, or you have something you need to do. I'm just gonna say, if you don't want to stay, you don't have to, you're welcome to stay. Yes, ma'am, one more comment over here.
My name is Marcia Penny, and I live on Greenwood Circle. I'm a newcomer, been here 3 weeks. and-
Welcome. Good timing, good timing.
Well, and that's one of the things I wanted to say is that, when we were looking for a place, we do not own, we're leasing because we're wanting to see where we want to land in this general area. We looked Kingsport, Bristol, we looked all over. Unicoi was our pick because we spoke to different people that, said really great things about this area, and this was where we need to be. And my husband was being transferred here with his work, so, how desirable is this place gonna be to new incomers? I know you want your town to grow, but if you come in like, we were told, you wanna go to Kingsport, lots of industry and it's a stinky town, and we were like, okay, mark that off, I would hate to see this beautiful town that we thought, oh, this is great, let's see how this, be marked off that quick, like Kingsport was for us, because it has a plant that stinks, it's polluted, And, anyway, that's something from an outsider coming in that I think you want your town to grow, and people would love to be here because of all the wonderful things it offers.
Yes, ma'am, thank you, and welcome to the town of Unicoi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Good? Not good, but as good as you can be. Are we okay? All right, well, we'll continue with the meeting. Now, Mr. Lewis said he had a few copies of what he had with him that he'd be willing to share if somebody wants to pop by him and see that. I do appreciate everybody coming. You're welcome to stay. Don't have to go anywhere. Welcome to stay, but we'll get on with some of the more mundane topics that the board must address. Say what? Yeah. Oh, Miss Lewis, was there something about it being confidential? That email from Davis and Davis Confidential? Was there something at the bottom of that? I didn't, he's telling me it was. Yes, ma'am. We'll take a moment. I didn't notice it.
I had promised him at his request that I would make the points known, so that was the reason I mentioned this. I thought he wanted that information, but I'll back and look at it again.
Okay, before anybody responds.
Yeah, it's not confidential.
Okay.
They can give it out.
No, hold on, wait, she's gonna go back to the letter. They're not asking us for anything, we're the ones that share it. We'll tell them that we recall it, and you said tell them we recall it. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know that he's one to hire, so he can do it. Well, you got that.
Board members, a couple more.
Oh, that's okay, we don't.
We can.
What are they gonna do about all the damages and fires? All that soot, that smoke and getting on the brick. And you can't even pressure wash that stuff off the porches and things. And see, I'm sitting right there. Diesel trucks comes up and down, and go up that hill, back down that hill. And they load it real hard and then you change gears. You can't even see through it. Like smoke everywhere. But the wind always blows this way. Right. It's one in my house.
I don't know, that would probably be something, I mean, we could look at that as some kind of a mitigation issue, but we might have to, well, and that was passed, because Summer Center isn't operating yet, so.
Taxes. You know, when I pay taxes every year, they're charging me a fortune. They aren't paying enough taxes for you to cover all the people's houses. You know?
Yeah, it's true, yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult situation, it really is, because it impacts people very badly.
I mean, the new town, it was wonderful. Then the road company took my house. I ran the movie back. My husband was in the hospital. And then Pincy Cure. When they took me away from this land, he offered me $50 million. I told him to go to hell. At the state. And we had to buy some property lines. And I didn't have to pay. We took off. Took everything we had. And it's just been one thing after that. We was doing good. Then he passed away. So I've been taking care of it myself. He died at 70. And it seems like everybody was going to stay fast. And everybody said, when you get right again. I don't know about that. Everybody you talk to is that, but scammer will try to get what you got.
Scammers are terrible. They're terrible.
But my taxes is keep going up and I don't understand. Other county taxes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Margaret, thank you.
And my insurance on the house is going up. And when you're living on Social Security,
that's hard. I know.
I think
the price of everything's gonna go up these days.
Thank you. Good, they had a little bit, so. But, why don't you ask, I did that they're paying enough taxes for people. Who's going, won't have to pay taxes.
I don't know. I know. Well, that's something we definitely need to look at. When talking to them.
Yeah, I'm talking to the county up there. Get them all. No, not about it. Well, I appreciate you listening.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being here. Thank you. I know.
Bottom road, Unicoi, sign is gone, it's just old. That was one of the things we were trying to get Johnny Lynch to try to do, is put a light
Jesse Campbell with the Johnson City Press.
Oh, well, yes, ma'am. Okay, well, nice to meet you. You're the one who replaced, Will Sue.
No, yes and no. Reporter that started, she's gonna cover Unicoi County.
Oh,
And I
okay.
didn't want to throw her to the wolves the first time.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
do you remember they talked about how powerful Brad Summers is? What's his name?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask, and our attorney will have that.
Because he didn't say his name. I don't think.
Yeah, and I think she knew it. And see, I'm not from Johnson City. So I'll see if I can find out.
We're gonna call this meeting back to order. We start with Charlene and she's putting some on the floor. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is Bart stripping over a chair? Or no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Since everybody else got to speak,
Yeah, go.
my name is Bart Ray.
Yes, sir.
I own property in Unicoi. I live in home.
Yes, sir.
All these people in here tonight are so concerned about our town. You should look at the rest of the business on here and state for that and be concerned and come every month, not just this one event. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comment. All right, Vice Mayor Cooper is going to share something with, I think, our city attorney, and we will move on to
Do what? I know that is.
number 9, item number 9 on the agenda.
That's everybody's thunder.
Number 9 on the agenda is Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury Letter of Compliance. This is something to share with the town. We received from the town. This is a good report. Ms. Kessler, can I just read a couple of the sections of it? Do I need to
Sure,
read the whole letter?
Yeah, no, just the part under section 1 and 2.
Yes, thank you. Section 1, municipalities compliance status. The town, the municipality is required to file budgets, audits routinely to the state comptroller's office. So this is a letter acknowledging that that has happened. And section 1 says your municipality appears to be in compliance with the act and your filing is complete for the year. And then if we skip on down, it says no additional action is required this year. So that's a good stamp of approval that we're in compliance with the state of Tennessee's comptroller's office. So I want to share that and have that in the record for everyone. Number 10 on the agenda, old business. We are going to have a second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2021-283, an ordinance for the town of Unicoi authorizing the enforcement of the rules of the road as set forth in Tennessee Code 558101 and Tennessee Code 5510-101. And that is in your packet. It is a second reading, which is required. And at this second reading, it is also required that we have a public hearing. So I want to open a public hearing on ordinance 2021-283 regarding the ordinance for the town of Unicoi authorizing the enforcement of the rules of the road as set forth in Tennessee Code annotated. We have a couple of documents there and pursuant to Town of Unicoi Code 15201. This is a second reading. It does allow some beneficial aspects for our police department in terms of being able to access certain situations out on the interstate, but also allows us to be eligible for certain grant funding for certain projects. Would that be an accurate summary? Law enforcement? Okay. This is a second reading. If the public has any comments, are there any comments in the room? Would any of the public who is listening in virtually or on Zoom would like to make any comments regarding the rules of the road ordinance during our public hearing? Hearing no citizen comments, we will close the public hearing. And then the board will need to consider a motion or not regarding this ordinance.
That's so moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second reading of ordinance 2021-283, rules of the road. Any discussion? Ms. Kessler, call roll.
Alderman Bennett,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Bullen.
Yes. Item 11 on the agenda is unfinished business. There is none. Item 12 on the agenda is new business. We have already addressed 12A, new business, by removing it for consideration by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. We will move down to item 12B on the agenda, a motion to approve new rate proposals for 2 capital outlay notes with the Bank of Tennessee. Ms. Kessler, would you like us to make a motion before we discuss, or would you like to talk to us about
We'll
this?
make a motion in
All
a
right.
second first.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the new rate proposals for the 2 capital outlay notes with Bank of Tennessee. Let's have some discussion. If there are any questions, you have an attached document there. Ms. Kessler, if you'd like to share anything.
Okay, these are 2 capital outlay notes that were done a few years back. The current balance that we have on the loan number 69446 is $113,168. And the current rate that they're paying is 3.45, and the proposed rate would be 2%. The next loan, the 30000118848, current balance is 726,000, and the current rate is 2.67. Proposed rate is 2.30.
Have you? I'm sure you have.
Let me say this too. The principal amount is the same. The terms are the same, the years. And so this does not have to go to the comptroller's office for approval. This is just a rate proposal reduction from the bank. And so going to what you see is 2% and 2.30. So the interest savings on the first loan was $2,864, and on the second one would be $15,462. So a total of $18,327 in savings for interest
over the life of the loan.
Basically, it's just a modification of interest only.
Right.
I make the motion, we accept this proposal.
Did we have a motion already?
Yeah, we do. Wanda have made the motion,
Okay.
and Roger seconded. So now we're ready. to
That's
vote.
okay.
Well, I would like to make a statement if I could. Right now, the town's got 3 loans out, and the other loan, Debbie, what's the amount on the other loan?
The sewer is 810,000
Okay. What I would
balance at June 30.
Right, what I would love to see the town do this coming year is pay off that $113,000 loan. I think we'll have the money to do it, but I would like to see that gone, and then we can work on paying off the other 2 loans. That's just something I'd like to see, and like to see us work toward. I'd like to see us get out of debt.
And the sewer loan's gonna be there forever.
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, Ms. Kessler, would you call for the vote, please?
Alderman Bennett.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Alderman Ray.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bullen.
Yes. Okay, thank you. We'll now move to item 12C, and I'm going to lump it together with D on the agenda. These are some works that Tysinger Hampton was asked to look at for us to work on a couple of our road projects that have been long-term issues. This is a suggested amount. In terms of making a vote, we can take them separately, but together they were requested for Tysinger Hampton to come out and look at our road issues. Give us an estimate on a cost for a study to be done on those road projects. And then, so we have a proposal for the cost of the study. Then Tysinger Hampton would come back with more detail about the cost of proposed repair. So this is a 2-step process. Anything we would be approving tonight is for Tysinger Hampton to actually perform their engineering study. And we have 2 different road areas that we really would like to give some consideration to. So on your agenda, 12C is the Massachusetts Avenue Improvement Study Agreement. And you have a description that was included in your packet. The total for the study, they are suggesting is $35,000, $35,100. And if we want to consider the work on Massachusetts, which Massachusetts runs right down through the town of Unicoi in the old little town area, we need to give consideration. So I will ask, is there a motion in regards to this study that Tyson Hampton is willing to do for $35,000?
I so move.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. I think Massachusetts has been long overdue. We have road problems, we have flooding problems, and for years, we've been hearing about every time it rains, it floods. And so I think one of the things that we thought we would do is try to get some of our projects out of the way. And since this has been a big project that we're going to face, this project could take 3 or 4 years to finish. We don't know until he does the study or they do the study and come back with what their proposal is. And then, of course, you may have to get state permits to go all through this stuff. But anyway, this is probably one of the bigger ones we're going to have to do in the town of Unicoi. And the fire singer has come down. He's looked at it. We know there's issues. We know the sewer line runs down the middle of the road. We know all sorts of issues. But this is just a study to tell us what's going on.
And we've also had Terry Haynes involved with us. Terry Haynes has worked for a number of years on Massachusetts Avenue. He knows the details, ins and outs, the inner workings. He has an extreme amount of knowledge and experience working on roads and flooding and whatnot, all those associated runoff, ditches, culverts, all of that. So he will also be really closely involved with us because he knows all of that history related to Massachusetts. I think that's contributed to a lot of the problems there. It's had a lot of Band-Aids over the years.
And I think also, Vivi, wasn't we granting something, Lee grant on the Massachusetts at the lower end?
Well, we got a Governor Lee grant of 108,000. And during the budget process, we broke that down on different projects. Ogle Road was one of them, and Massachusetts was another one. Guardrails and finishing the paving on Whispering Pines. And so right now, the cost of the Ogle paving was only $14,000. So the rest of that money is left. But we're also thinking that part of this engineering study with Tysinger would, we would take from that money that we already have.
I think we originally had what, 47,000 for that Massachusetts, was that the part with the Lee grant?
Mm-hmm.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Mayor, I have a question. Are you all considering these separately?
Yes,
Because-
we are. I lumped them in as one when we kind of introduced, but we'll consider them separately. So, yes, Judy.
I just think the general public needs to understand it's not that we care to pave the roads or fix the ditches. But while the road is falling in, as we are beginning to understand, is the sewer that was put in is undermining the road, possibly. So this study is to see how bad it is. And it'd be kind of dumb to pave the road and then dig it up. So that's kind of what this is all about, is to see if it's a little bit or a whole lot.
Well, and that's exactly right. We can't Band-Aid it if we don't know what the root cause is. So what she's saying is absolutely correct. And in addition to the fact that Terry Haynes has more than once told me, Massachusetts is down low and the water up here at this interstate interchange collects and drains. So, I mean, water is going to go downhill, so it's a complicated water drainage issue that we have to fix before we can fix the road.
I didn't think the general public understood. The sewer is the worst problem and we can't even see that problem.
So,
Mayor, another aspect of that is that when the sewer was put in, there was some adjustments recommended by the engineers to the type of fill material that was put in around it. I think that's primarily to save money. And it may be that that change in materials has something to do with the problem that we have of falling.
not
water.
supportive enough over time, yeah.
I've heard it.
Yep. So we've got a significant issue to look at there on Massachusetts. And those people have waited a long time for a real serious look to be taken at their road and the flooding issues. So, okay, we have a motion, we have a second to approve the Massachusetts Improvement Study. Is there any further discussion? All right, Ms. Kessler, would you call for a vote, please?
Alderman Bennett,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes,
Mayor Bullen.
Yes. Now, along the same lines, I introduced 12D on the agenda. Tysinger Hampton has also looked at Cattle, I want to say Cattle Creek, for improvements. And that is as well in your packet. This would be the same type of intent for a study to be done to consider the issues on Paddle Creek. That is a road between Anderson Road and Whispering Pines, way out on the, I guess we call that the north end of County Unicoi. There have been a number of issues out there as well, and there has a proposal in here to do a study of that area that would total, I've lost my total, 25,000. It's not near the depth and breadth of the Massachusetts project. However, it is something that the town is going to need to look at. If they do a study, we don't have to act on it right away. If we are going to start parsing out our road money, our repair money, looking for grants, whatever, the study does not force us to have to take action. The study will just be an estimate of what the issues are and what would need to be done. So, do I have a motion to consider or approve the Paddle Creek Road Improvement Study Agreement for $20,000? Okay, Ms. Ray has, okay, Ms. Radford, second. Okay, any questions or discussions on that topic? All right, hearing none, Ms. Kessler, would you call the roll, please?
Alderman Bennett,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
yes.
Mayor Bullen.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now, Alderman, we will now hear reports of officers and committees. Some of our reports are going to be in our packet, okay, and they will not be read out. You may observe them and look at them at your leisure. If you'd like to make comments, you're welcome to do that. First committee, Ms. Radford, are you sure you'd like to tell us what happened in the last planning commission? I think we all know.
The planning commission met on February 1st at the Unicoi Elementary Gym. And the new business was a consideration and recommendation for a rezoning request by Summers Taylor Materials Company from A1 General Agricultural District to M2 Heavy Industrial District. The properties described on Unicoi tax map 002 are parcels 50.01, 50.02, 50.03, and 50.04. There was a presentation of the request by Summers Taylor Material Company. There was also a large citizen turnout, allowing citizens responding by Zoom, presenting their opposition for the rezoning. The board did review the request for rezoning and voted unanimously to recommend to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to deny the rezoning request of the property from A1 General Agricultural District to M2 Heavy Industrial District. Also, under new business was a review and approval of a preliminary site plan for Unicoi County asphalt plant by Summers Taylor Materials Company. There was a motion and approval by the board to table the consideration until March 1st next planning board meeting until a decision from the Board of Mayor and Aldermen is made. And then there was also no board zoning and appeals meeting in February.
Right. Okay, that was a good summary. That's makes it sound much easier. Okay, all right. Mountain Harvest Kitchen, there is a report in your packet, and then Lee Manning also supplied me with an updated sheet she sent by email very close to the board meeting time, stating that some of her numbers were not correct. So you've gotten a second email, or I've laid a paper on your table. When I looked over this, I will have to say that it pleased me to see that there may be some new clients coming in, and that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. So she has some good numbers there for you to review, and that is in your packet. Parks Rec Tourism as well is in your packet. There are some numbers there associated with the Christmas at the Caboose, the progress on the Strawberry Festival, British Car Show, and we have been approached by Red Cross to give consideration to this room being a shelter location. Should citizens in this area need to be moved to a shelter for flooding or other kinds of disasters. They were very pleased. I think the setting of this building is high in terms of flooding, and access for many people would be easier here. I think Rock Creek Elementary School is a shelter site, and that's a pretty good distance from out here if you live in the town of Unicoi. So we have an agreement we'll be considering. Ms. Shelton actually met with them and talked it up, and they did a tour, and we will be considering that agreement at a future BMA meeting. Thank you. Okay, just want to share. I think that's an important thing. Okay, Police Department reports in your packet, and I'm gonna steal Police Chief Andy Slater's thunder. You want me to steal your thunder, or you want it?
For what?
Your report.
Oh, you know, it's the back.
The total call. This was, he was just like, what? The total calls that he answered for 911.
Me is the guy there.
Well, you were 1,181. You're 901, you're officer 901. Last year in 2020, 1,183. All of our guys, our volunteers, part-time, our reserves, they answered 2,697 calls, emergency 911 calls in the county of Unicoi. I think that's impressive. Yay, I think that's impressive. And then Jay can't take it, he's leaving.
And, you know, Mayor, that's not just, that has an impact on the community, but it's also a help to the sheriff's department, because that's that many less calls that they have to respond.
Absolutely. I do think it's important to state that our town of Unicoi Police has an absolute partnering relationship with the sheriff's department and the sheriff's department with us. It's very reciprocal that they support us when we are in need, and we support them when they are in need, and they reach out. It's a very good relationship. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. All right. The next we have here is municipal court report. That is in your packet. I don't think either because of COVID or some other issues, we've had a municipal court.
We did not have any for February.
Yeah.
You will not have one for March.
Okay, so we're going to be suspending that for a little bit. Before we get to recorder's report, I see Ms. Mull here. Ms. Mull, I don't have history committee on the agenda, but I know that you represent the history committee. Would you have some things you would like to share with the group? Oh, and there's Miss Lisa back there too. I'm so sorry. Whoever would like to speak on behalf of the history committee, we'd like to hear from you.
We're still holding our monthly meetings now. We're working toward our Easter. Hopefully we can do the full flow of the Easter instead of just passing out a bag with eggs and goodies and everything in it. Lisa Willis did have coronary procedure today.
Oh.
That's why she's not here.
She okay? She doing okay?
Haven't heard.
There. Okay, I got a head nod back here. She's doing okay. That's scary.
So that's what we're working for now, is our
Okay.
Easter and then Strawberry Festival.
And to be able to have it in person,
That would be wonderful.
the Easter. Okay.
Everybody line up and get your shots.
I mean, it's just, it's such a challenge. It's such a challenge. Okay, thank you, Dean Moore, for that. All right, recorder's report in the packet, but Ms. Kessler, what would you like to say?
I just to have a few updates on that. Mickey Ellis, the CPA firm that did our audit, the audit is complete and the board has been emailed a copy. We should have hardbound copies in a week or so. They're going to make those for us. And I probably will defer to Lois on the update on the Estates Drive Bridge, if that's changed since I did this report last week.
Other information, we have one of the remaining two, and I hope to get the last one tonight or tomorrow night.
Signatures for agreement. Okay.
There are two left, I've got one of them, I need one more.
Okay.
Just an update on the Tennessee CARE Act Corona grant, the cooler, that's for the Mountain Harvest Kitchen. It's the $95,000 grant that's 100% reimbursable. Year-to-date spending, I've got down there at $34,056 and the PO for $31,000. And we have requested the two reimbursements. We received the $7,800 in the mail. And so we have that one. We're waiting on the second one of $26,075. And the rest of that report is pretty much still the same if you've read it. I did want to point out just, Mark Ramsey, we had him to pick up additional litter and on Unicoi Drive and up to 107 to the dump. And he picked up 97 bags, 30-gallon size bags with an average of 30 pounds, which was about 2,910 pounds of garbage. Danny and Tony, our two maintenance men, drove 535 miles in the snow over the first week of February 1, 2, 3, and 7. Tony worked 30.5 hours due to snow removal, and Danny worked 37 hours removing snow. And they spread 14 tons of salt. And so we wanted to make sure that everybody knew what it
was aware. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Okay, we are replacing, this is not on the report, but it's as of late, we're replacing the tile underneath the road at Scott Road and into underneath the driveway that's been damaged because of this tile. So that's going to happen next week.
Okay.
I would like to add that Mark Ramsey and his crew did a fabulous job picking
Yes, they
up all the trash, and it made us look better, but it wouldn't believe it, about a week later, I saw a bag of trash carried all down the road. So it's a never ending battle, but I hope y'all look at this better.
I think he went above and beyond.
Yeah.
What we asked him to do, what we contracted for.
He was shocked.
He went above and beyond. Yeah, he did us a very nice service. And then we are grateful for Mark and his efforts with his folks. Okay, financial report.
Okay, the first sheet you have is your general fund balance sheet, and in our cash, we have $1,214,000. And restricted for street aid, we've got 97,000. Committed to capital projects, we have 94,000. That's part of the Governor Lee's grant that we've only spent the 14,000 out of for the Ogle Road project. And then we had restricted funds of 123,000. And that's for the balance sheet of the general fund. And the next sheet we go over, we're showing our revenues for January for the general fund for 169,481. So year to date, we're looking at 1,210,000. Our budget was 2,635,000, which that included a lot of grant budgeting. And on the next sheet, what shows the expenditures for the general fund for January, $127,032, and year to date, $761,930. So if you're looking at our net income for January, we're at $42,449, and year to date, $448,33.
All right, any questions board regarding the financial report? If not, well, I guess if we're gonna have to have a motion to approve first, and then we can have some questions if you have them. Is there a motion to approve the financial report
Motion to approve.
as presented? Okay, motion
Second.
and a second. All right, board, we got a motion and a second to approve the financial report as presented. Any discussion?
Well, I would like to note that the amount we've been getting in local sales tax has been holding up real well. We bounced around 90, we bounced around 60, we're back up to 100. And if that continues, we may have a good year, but we may have
Yes.
a good year. So I guess that's one of the things I'm looking at, why I would like to pay off one of those lower loans and get rid of it. Well, I'm stuck on money now, but.
Could I add, I'd like for us to accumulate some extra cash to put extra money into roads that need to be paved. We have a big job ahead of us to work on our everyday roads in our communities.
And the winter time makes them all worse.
Yes.
The freezing and the snow and the. All right, we have had a motion and a second to approve the financial report as presented. I think our questions are completed. If we could take a vote, I'd like to take a vote, please. Ms. Kessler?
Alderman Bennett,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Boyd.
Yes. All right, that completes the official business for the evening. Does anybody have any type of announcements they would like to share? Anything we need to know about upcoming events?
Again, I would like to share that one of the things that we ran on in the election was trying to get our roads improved. And I hope y'all are seeing that we're trying now to improve our roads. And I know it's gonna be a job, and I know that the longer we wait to start improving roads, is we're gonna have more roads come up that need to be fixed all at one time. So hopefully we can spread it out and not have a tremendous amount of roads to fix at one time. That's it.
Okay, all right, any,
Oh,
Yeah.
I would like to make an announcement about the appropriation requests from outside agencies. They're due March the 1st.
okay. Any outside agency, 501c3 governmental agencies who would like to make a request for donation needs to be in by March 1st. Correct? March 1st. Okay. I saw Jay and Andy back there.
We'll have a class up here, Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and we'll do a class up here in July. It's gonna be open for all agencies across the state.
Good.
July 19th, 23rd.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay. Any further comments or announcements? All right, seeing none, then is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Okay, I got a motion, how about a second to adjourn? Thank you. All right, all in favor say, there we go. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
You have the names.
I think they were all asleep. Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't hear him say his name.
Oh. Every hour, like last year, 4